Thank you so much for waking up with us. 6 a.m. on this Friday. At the end of the week, everyone, we've made it. I'm Eric Connors.
I'm Netta Iranpour. I've been looking forward to this week, all week,
Right.
this day, I should say, because of how warm these temperatures are about to be. The afternoon highs are like mind-blowing.
I don't know. You can look forward to the whole week, too.
Well,
it's been a warm
it has
one, right?
compared to last week.
But in particular, yes. I mean, today's been the day that all week long we've been saying will be the standout warmest day. And I mean, it looks like it's coming to fruition. Widespread 80s out by the coast, 90s as you make your way inland. Very warm across the board. And it seems like a lot of that heat, or at least warmth, is going to stick around through the weekend. I hesitate to say heat simply because, I mean, we know that in the summer this is typical to come day after day after day. But for the month of February, this is very abnormal. 81 out by the coast, 93 on average across our inland valleys. Here's what it's like stepping out the door right now. Mostly 50s and 60s, so it'll be a quick warm up, especially in spots like Fallbrook, where we're already almost at 70 degrees. As we head through the day, we'll be reaching our peak temperatures today. We hold on to a lot of that warmth into Saturday and Sunday, so a lot of that will be felt through the weekend. And then we'll start to notice a more dramatic cooling trend into early next week. Vanessa Paz is standing by, checking in on our road conditions. Looks like a nice start to the day there.
Yeah, it is. Again, I assure you it's probably going to be very quiet. I have this theory and I stick to it. Friday's the day that a lot of people work from home. So it's likely going to be fairly light across the board throughout the morning. That was the 805 in both directions right at Division. This is what it looks like coming in from Lake Murray. In fact, the right side of your screen is that drive as you head west towards the College area. And this is that drive on the 5 in both directions. Right side of your screen is northbound as you make your way towards the 15 on-ramp. Let's go ahead and pull up incidents. We have one that we're tracking in the North County in the Center Divide. This is in Escondido on the 15 South right at Gopher Canyon. Could slow things down for you if, let's say, you're headed in from Fallbrook, Rainbow, even Temecula via the 15 South passing the 76. Here, travel times about 10 to 15 headed north. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what the rest of the travel times have in store. Back to you guys.
Now to some relief for San Diegans. Yes, more free parking is soon going to be available at Balboa Park.
Yes, you heard that right. Free parking. The city rolling back on some of the paid parking out there after all that public outcry over those new fees. News 8's Tori Apodaca joining us live from Balboa Park to tell us who might be able to get access to this free parking. Good morning, Tori.
Good morning, Netta and Eric. It's going to be just for San Diego residents, and around 70% of these lots out here at Balboa Park will be free starting next week, but you'll need to get verified first. So what does this mean? It means that these 7 lots that you see here, Pepper Grove, Federal, Upper Inspiration Point, Lower Inspiration Point, Marston Point, Palisades, and Bay Evanson will all be eligible for registered San Diego residents to park in for free. You'll need to register your vehicle's license plate, though, through the city's online permit portal, plus upload a proof of residency like a driver's license, utility bill, property tax bill, or rental agreement. Many residents have been in uproar since the city rolled out this paid parking. We've been working for you, and people tell us this change is a step in the right direction.
I think that it should be fair to the residents as well to be able to access local places and local parks without having to pay exorbitant prices like we do for everything else.
Now, parking enforcement in the park will begin at 8 a.m. and end at 6 p.m. instead of ending at 8 p.m. And drivers with disabled placards can park free all day in any available lot. If you don't live in city limits, you can still park for free for 3 hours at Lower Inspiration Point or pay for parking passes. And street parking meters in and around Balboa Park must still be paid for by everyone. There will be a grace period, though, for this new change. Starting on March 9th, you could start receiving a warning, with citations rolling out on March 16th. We'll have all the details on our website, cbs8.com, under the Help tab on how to register your vehicle. Live from Balboa Park, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
And yes, Tori, the newest
Tori.
face on the News 8 morning team. Welcome to the team here, Tori.
Yay.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
We're glad you're here from Southern California,
Right.
so close to home, Tori. And yes, our viewers at home, you're going to see her every morning, bright and early.
That's right.
So yeah, hopefully you'll adjust to this morning schedule.
Yep. Love the energy, Tori.
Yes, great to have you.
Yeah, coffee will be my friend.
Yes.
And that's what we all live
That's
off
how it
of, right?
works, yep.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. We'll check with you again soon.
We do want to get to a traffic impact alert now. All southbound lanes of the 5 will be closing tonight. This is all work that Caltrans says needs to happen.
The 5. Yeah, the News 8's Chris Grow joining us live near Gilman Drive to tell us how people can get around of this. Chris, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, the main way that you're going to be able to get around this is when you come up to that 805-5 split, get on the 805 South, because otherwise the construction crews that are going to be kind of in this area, they're going to be working. That's going to take up 3 of the 4 lanes on that bridge repairs and the bridge work that they'll be doing, and you will be stuck with delays. So just wanted to get out of the way there so we can allow for some of the crews that are beginning to get ready right now. Now, as for the timing of all of this, 7 p.m. to 11, that is when they will indeed be doing this work both today and tomorrow. So again, from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. to conduct this bridge work. Now, last week, it was the northbound lanes that were shut down. This week, it will be the southbound lanes. Now, of course, Caltrans is saying that there are a number of public transit options, the MTS bus routes that you can take a look at. But the main one to get around this is going to be to make sure you take the 805 at that split if you're coming in from North County. Otherwise, again, try to look at the public transit options that you have there. Now, the Gilman off and on ramp, those will be closed too. The park and ride right here behind me is already closed for construction equipment and the things that they'll be using. So make sure that you keep this top of mind, especially with any weekend travel. Back to you guys in the studio.
A county supervisor taking legal action against ICE for denying her entry into the Otay Mesa Detention Center.
Yeah, she was there to perform a health inspection. We're talking about County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer. She announced this during a rally outside the federal courthouse yesterday, where some legal observers say they were detained and ticketed by the Department of Homeland Security. Robert Kovelman says he and 3 others have been monitoring immigration court proceedings for months without incident. He says officers told them regulations had recently changed, but did not provide documentation. DHS has not yet responded to questions about any policy changes.
And this morning, a $5 million reward is being offered for information leading to the capture of an alleged Sinaloa cartel leader. Prosecutors say Rene Arzate Garcia, known as La Rana, and his brother used murder, kidnappings, and extortion to control the Tijuana Plaza while trafficking massive amounts of drugs into the United States. The U.S. Attorney unsealed a new narco-terrorism indictment against Rene Arzate here in San Diego yesterday. The charges come after the cartel was designated a foreign terrorist organization. Anyone with information is urged to contact the FBI. And this morning, Paramount seems to be poised to take over Warner Brothers Discovery after Netflix has declined to raise its bid. In a statement, the co-CEOs of Netflix said the deal is, quote, no longer financially attractive. That means Paramount has suddenly moved closer to taking over all of the assets owned by WBD. Paramount announced earlier this week that it had raised its offer for all of the WBD services to $31 a share. It also attached several deal sweeteners that appealed to the board, including a $7 billion regulatory termination fee.
Now, police out of Georgia have a message for parents. Check your child's lunch before cafeteria turns into happy hour. Look what that is. The police department shared this photo on social media. It shows a bag of chips, some other snacks you might see at a lunch, and then that canned lemon drop martini. Cut water. The drink is 11% alcohol. That is a strong one. It's got quite a kick. In this post, the police department wrote, quote, this is not Capri Sun. This is not apple juice. This is a whole parent had a long night starter pack. Yeah. I mean, the police then asked parents to check the lunch boxes before resource officers, quote, got to do inventory at recess. Oh, yeah, we don't want to put that on school officials have to do. So make sure, I mean, I get it. The mornings are chaos. You're grabbing things from the fridge, packing the lunches.
Right.
But yeah, keep it in a totally different segment.
In a lot of cases, it's the kids pack their own lunch at certain ages. And if you have like a beverage fridge or a garage fridge, sometimes things can just be thrown in there.
It looks
so
like a bubble
separate
water.
And as someone who knows his way around a canned cocktail, that's like the highest percentage alcohol.
They have their margarita that's 13%.
13%, 11%. It literally looks like satirical. It looks like a complete joke. It's wild that a kid actually went to school with that. So
Handwriting's a little off.
yeah.
Teacher sees it.
If you do have all the beverages, have a specific,
Exactly.
kids beverage
You got a section off the fridge, yeah.
Don't be,
do that in coolers too at like
yeah,
birthday
exactly.
parties. Make sure you have an adult cooler and the kid.
Meanwhile, my parents were sending me with just like the room temperature drink. They didn't have to be in the fridge, Just throw it in. Today, you might opt for the refrigerated beverage because we're getting hot this afternoon. We're expecting those temperatures to climb into the 70s and 80s out by the coast, the 80s and maybe even 90s as we look inland this afternoon. Current temperatures out the door mostly in the 50s. We've got some low 60s out there. Oceanside and Carlsbad at 62 degrees right now. Fallbrook not going to have much trouble warming up. They're 2 degrees away from 70. And when you start at that, I mean, you just go nowhere but up. So we're expecting those afternoon highs to be rather warm, especially up in North County. Here's a live camera up outside from Mount Soledad. It's been so beautiful and so green, right? We've been seeing a lot of that greenery, especially thanks to the week-long rain event that we had last week, Monday through Thursday. Sunrise 6:19, about 8 minutes from now. Sunset coming at 5:44. Now, those high temperatures over the last 2 weeks have been on a bit of a roller coaster. With that storm that came through, temperatures slid all the way down to 52 degrees in the afternoon in Ramona. That was about 15 degrees cooler than average. Now we're almost 20 degrees warmer than average. Yesterday afternoon made it to 84 degrees in Ramona. That was 18 degrees above where they typically are for an afternoon like today. We are looking at mainly dry skies across the U.S. I will say one spot that we're keeping our eyes peeled for is around Georgia, moving through the Carolinas. One storm that has the capability of producing some severe thunderstorms in the mix is moving through. But aside from that, the U.S. itself is mostly dry. This low pressure system off the coast is still sending a fair amount of cloud cover over the top of this ridge of high pressure. We're under that ridge, and that means that we are staying dry and warm today. And even through the weekend, it looks like we're staying really mild before we start to notice a more dramatic cool down by the beginning of next week. Temperatures are also warming up in spots of the country that were very, very cold last week and for weeks prior. So that's a plus side as well. Want to send things over to Vanessa Paz. She's checking in on traffic to start off our Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Got that Friday energy on a Friday across the newsroom. 6:12 is the time. Things are really quiet, but I assure you this is going to be a completely different picture this weekend. We've been talking about that closure. Chris Grow has been covering it, happening around the evening hours on the 5, just near the Sorrento Valley area. So you want to opt for the 805, especially if you're traveling at night. Right now, things are pretty quiet, though, on the 5 in both directions right at Genesee. Let's go ahead and switch gears a little more north. This is the 78 in both directions right at Nordal. Coming at your screen is that drive as you make your way towards San Marcos. Right side of your screen is a drive as you hop onto the 15. Things are also rolling smooth in and out of downtown. This is a drive towards downtown, passing Old Town Avenue, coming in from the Point Loma area. We're still keeping our eye on this crash in the North County and the Center Divide out in Escondido. This is on the 15 South at Gopher Canyon. It could slow things down a little bit as you're making your way in from, let's say, Bonsall, Rainbow, Fallbrook, even Temecula. Right now, though, it looks all in the green around that area, meaning that we're at average speed. So that's good news. All right, pulling up those travel times, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes to get you northbound in from Chula Vista National City this morning. Average speeds about 65, 70 miles per hour. Switching gears, this is what it looks like in from the East County, about 3 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And we're at average speeds coming in from the North County headed south, anywhere between 10 to 11 minutes on the 5 and the 15, and from Oceanside and Escondido, full span of the 78, about a 15-minute ride. All right, 6:13 is the time on your Friday, and here's a look at those border wait times, about an hour 15 to get you across from San Ysidro's port of entry. A little bit better, but not by much, about an hour or so crossing in from Otay Mesa at last check.